This is Huzaifa with Combat Feed Media, feeding you with all things combat. I'm joined today by Adam Smith. Adam, how are you today, sir?
I'm very good. It's been a thoroughly enjoyable 12 hours in Riyadh today. I had lunch with Frank Warren. I've had a lovely afternoon. I went up on the Sky Bridge to look over Riyadh and do some filming. We've had the weigh-in. I then walked with Eddie to the snooker championship here and watched a little bit. So yeah, it's been a really, really lovely day on the eve of a phenomenal fight card tomorrow. I'm not picking the mic up for DAZN. I've got the weekend off, so I'm here with the voice of boxing and also as a fan. I think it's a tremendous show, probably the best of the year so far. 4 incredibly competitive fights for world titles, opportunities, 7 undefeated fighters, 2 Brits with chances of becoming a world champion, but there's some American stars or potential superstars of the future, I think, on the card. So really looking forward to it.
Out of all the cards we've had this year, where did this one stuck?
It's got to be right up there, if not the best of the trade cards. I think maybe it might lack a huge name that sort of seeps into the casuals. People know Anthony Yarde, they know his story. Benavidez is a great champion, but still, I think to become that superstar of world boxing, maybe Bam is the top, probably top 5 pound for pound, 6, 7 maybe, but around there. But yeah, look, it's an incredible night of boxing. And when it was announced in July, I was at the press conference in New York, and I said I've got to be here. And DAZN using the global, the American team, so they don't need me behind a mic. So I thought, okay, I'm going to take my seat and be a fan. Yeah, I wanted to come to this, and I'm really glad we're here.
Well, as a fan, and you're not behind the seat, what are the predictions for these? Let's start off with Benavidez and Anthony Yarde.
I think it's a tough fight for Anthony Yarde. They've always come hard for him. His third world title opportunity is no easier probably than the other 2. Kovalev in Russia when he was at around his peak, and Beterbiev even in London. Yeah, he's always had it hard. I like Anthony. I like Tundi. I like Ruben Tabarez. They're a great team. And look, I wish him well tomorrow. He'll give everything as he always does. I wonder if the inactivity wasn't great against Linden last time. I wonder if that will be a problem. Benavidez is the one with momentum and age and everything on his side, really. So, yeah, I think David will probably come through in a very hard fight. But Anthony will go out on his shield as ever. And you never know. He's got a chance, and maybe all that experience will come good for him. And there'll be no nicer guy, no nicer team to have a world championship around them than the Yarde team. So, yeah, I really wish them well, and sort of fingers crossed with your British hearts, but I think Benavidez probably comes through that one.
Definitely, I want to touch on that as well, especially with Anthony Yarde. You mentioned his team. Tunde did speak yesterday at the press conference, and he gave the journey. He explained the journey for where we started, from the kid that only had 12 amateur fights.
Did, yeah.
What were your thoughts straight after he said that? How did it feel?
Well, I've known Tunde forever, and he's a real great boxing man. He's wise. He's put huge amounts of work in, so he's got everything. Knowledge. He's a lovely guy. He's a great communicator too, and so is Anthony. And they make a great double act. They've done it their way, and I think people have a huge amount of respect for them within the business. And yeah, as I said, it will be an amazing moment really for the 2 of them if they can go home to London with the World Championship. But yeah, it's not mission impossible. There's a possibility, there's an opportunity here if everything goes according to plan. But he does start a big underdog, I think.
I mean, yeah, definitely, that's completely fair. Well, with Devin Haney now and Brian Norman, tough fight for Devin Haney, this one. He even says this is the best person he needs to fight right now in 147. What are your thoughts, predictions on this fight?
I think it's the most interesting fight on the card. It's the one I've been sort of swapping back and forth. I thought Haney quite heavily early on, and I normally sort of go with my hunch when a fight's announced. I thought Haney moving up to welterweight would probably give his body a little bit more room. He'll be quick, get into a rhythm, but you sort of got to pinch yourself that he's only 27. He's had a long career. He's not been great in the last couple of years, and I think Brian Norman has super momentum, and he hits really hard, and he's the natural welterweight, and I've been really impressed with him this week. So I was sort of starting to edge more towards the champion, Brian, but I think it's a fantastic fight. I think Norman's just got to do everything he can to disrupt Haney's rhythm. If he can stop Haney's feet moving and his hands moving, then that's half the battle won. So I think we'll know after 2 or 3 rounds if Haney establishes himself. He's got amazing ring IQ. He's fought at the higher level. However, if Norman takes him to a place that he feels uncomfortable, I think Brian Norman retains his title and becomes a star overnight.
Would that be likely that Brian Norman does figure it out? Where Devin Haney, we know even in his last fight, he was taking it easy, he was pushing it back, he was running, I guess, quote unquote. Do you think Brian Norman could figure that out? Is he capable of figuring it out and actually getting that victory, knockout or decision?
Brian Norman's a very good boxer. He's just, because he's aggressive and he's got power, people are just looking at that, the highlight reels. But he can box. But Haney's exceptional, and he's been he was in Mayweather's. I saw him in Mayweather's gym when he was about 11 or 12. You know, he's a purist, Devin, and he's worked very, very hard for this. But I just think going on form, going on the natural weight and size, momentum, I just lean slightly towards Brian. Not massively. Wouldn't shock me if Devin became a 3-weight world champion. But I think Brian Norman announces himself Saturday night.
Definitely. I actually wanted to ask you this as well. They were quite different. So in terms of Anthony Yarde and David Benavidez, very, very respectful. Devin Haney, Brian Norman, it's just that competitiveness. And obviously, even with Abdullah Mason and Sam Noakes, again, there was that little back and forth a little bit. What do you prefer when it comes to trash talk, or do you like the respect? I'm asking this because you've been, when it's all happened, you've been there. With this, Anthony Yarde, David Benavidez is really respectful.
When Derek Chisora threw a table at you.
When Derek Chisora threw a table at you. What were your thoughts? What do you prefer, and what do you think gets you going? Just you.
I'm a storyteller. I love characters. I love drama. So I'll always edge towards the spice and the needle and the respect afterwards. 2 fighters who've trained for 10, 12 weeks, they're not expected to like each other. Sometimes I think there's a bit too much respect and niceties, which can be good. I think it just depends who you are. Abdullah Mason's a very, very polite young man. Sam Noakes, pretty much the same. You look at the dads with Devin and Brian, and they've had the beef, and probably the kids aren't quite as much
energetic towards it.
Yeah, it's helped sell it as well. But the respect between Benavidez and Yarde is there for all to see, and I like that too. And I guess, you can look at it as though the respect goes out the window when the bell goes, and for those 12 rounds, they're enemies and they become friends again, which is the magic of boxing, when they fall into each other's arms. I mean, who'd have thought a year ago Eubank and Ben would be hugging after a second fight? It's you share souls and spirits in that ring. So it depends what character you are. It depends whether you're a nice guy, whether you like the heat, whether you like the spice. I like stories, so maybe a bit of both. But yeah, I think the hoopla before a fight is all part of it. I mean, AJ and Jake Paul are having their press conference in Miami, and Jake Paul's apparently said, Eddie told me on the way here, that it's Andy Ruiz 2.0. And look, it's all fun and games, right? Ultimately, they're going to fight, and when that bell goes, none of us know what's going to happen, and the fighters fight, and that's the magic of boxing. So yeah, I like the build-up. I think sometimes when it's spicy and needle, it's great. I think the Argentinians over here, just different stories for all the different fights, and I think that's great. Just a freshness to the card.
Definitely. With Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua, you got to give it to Jake in this one. He went from Gervonta Davis. The height difference between him and Gervonta Davis is the same thing with him and Anthony Joshua. You've got to give it to him this time.
I give Jake Paul immense respect. I mean, he's had the courage to become a fighter. I remember when Logan and KSI fought, and we had to do it on Sky, and everyone was, all the sort of hardcore fans amongst us were like, really? And then I spent a week with them out in LA and absolutely loved it. They're storytellers, they're intelligent, they chose boxing, and it was a level playing field between the two of them, Logan and KSI. That's what I like. I like it when they're good matches. I'm not sure AJ and Jake Paul is a good match, and that's why it's had negative criticism, but ultimately everyone's going to be watching. It's an entertainment business. It's a brilliant commercial decision from Team Joshua, I think, to make a ton of money for a little warm-up and workout before his big 2026. I can't see him losing to Jake Paul. I can only see him winning when he wants to, and and I think that he's got a real opportunity to make a lot of money and a massive name for himself in America as well through Netflix. He goes with DAZN's blessing, and I think it's great that AJ's also in Gandia in Usyk's camp. I think that's brilliant for him. I think he'll learn. He'll be a sponge. I think that'll be absolutely terrific. But good luck to Jake Paul. He's taken the opportunity, and I wish him well. I wonder if when he goes to sleep at night, he actually does believe he's going to beat Anthony Joshua. He probably does. He probably keeps watching the Andy Ruiz fights and the Daniel Dubois ones. Maybe not all the others that AJ succeeded in. And remember, he kept getting up in those fights as well. So, I think it's. I think it will be one of the biggest shocks in sport. Period. If Jake Paul could somehow land a lucky punch, it's not going to happen.
I mean, with Jake Paul, he is saying, I am going to win. But it just came back now in this press conference here. He did say, I'm going to knock Anthony Joshua out, and then next year I'm going after Tyson Fury.
Yeah, and again, good luck to him. I hear Tyson Fury's come out and said it's a 50-50 fight. Everyone's having fun with it. As I said, it's an entertainment business. My kids are going to be watching it. Everyone's going to be tuning in to Netflix to see what happens. It's a story, and we love getting hooked on stories. Jake or Joshua, it's nuts.
Definitely. Andrew Smith, thank you so much for
Before,
your time.
You've got to ask me about the fight of the night.
No.
Abdullah Mason and Sam Noakes. I mean, I cannot wait for that fight.
Okay.
I know it's the first of the four.
I mean, it's for England as well. It's like
I just want to say, and I wish Sam Noakes well. He's a great guy. He's got a chance in this fight. He's unbeaten. He hits hard. He's won British, Commonwealth and European titles, but I just think Abdullah Mason's going to be a superstar. I really do. I really like him. He's 21. He'll be the youngest world champion. I think he's incredibly respectful. He's been brilliant all week, but I've watched him for a long time. He's got talent to burn. I know he's been down a couple of times. That gives Sam a real opportunity in this fight, and you never know. It's a wonderful matchup between two young, hungry, talented guys for a world title, and it just shows where boxing has come. I think if Abdullah Mason makes a statement tomorrow night, I think he's the one to watch for the next couple of years in America.
Abdullah Mason has been dropped, you have said it, but he showed resilience and he came back. Does Sam Noakes have it in him? Is he capable of just getting that knockout complete?
Of course he's capable of getting the knockout. I think he's 15 knockouts in his 17 wins. I mean, he's a big puncher. But he's done it at a level. Can he do it at this level, at world level? You look at their resumes, there's not too much between them. It's maybe a 55-45 fight in favour of Abdullah Mason. But so I think Sam Noakes could win this. But what I've seen of Abdullah Mason, and talking to the guys at Top Rank who don't make many mistakes at this level, and they're really hot on him. I like what I've seen. I think he's got variety. I think he's got speed. I think he's got angles. I think he's from a family of fighters. I think it's going to be a tough ask for Sam Noakes. Not impossible. It's not something you can't do. And if he and Anthony Yard bring 2 world titles back for Britain, it'll be unbelievable end of the year for the UK. However, I just got a feeling this could be an all-American night.
Definitely. Well, Adam Smith, I don't want to take too much of your time, especially because you told us snooker is one of your favourite sports.
I love the snooker.
Yeah.
I love the green bays. I don't know if Andy Levada's going to let me stay. It's not his cup of tea, but I loved it. I watched it as a kid. I grew up on Alex Hurricane Higgins, one of my heroes. I always talk about Tommy Hearns, Barry McGregor, my boxing heroes. My football heroes, Kenny Dalglish, Liverpool players. But my snooker hero was Alex Hurricane Higgins, and he was a genius. And then came Jimmy White, and then came Ronnie O'Sullivan. You see which way I'm going.
Yeah.
I like geniuses, and
Are you any good at the game yourself?
I'm rubbish at snooker, but I'm okay at pool, and I'll leave it at that.
Pool's there.
Take care, guys.
Thank you so much for your time.